Hey, are we live? Let's see, is the stream coming through today? Today, legends. Today we're gonna do some crazy technical analysis. I mean, it doesn't look like a mess at all. It's all just a Picasso drawing. Right, legends, welcome to the live stream. Smash up the like on your way in, and I'll say hi to the beautiful community here in a moment. And as you can see here on my screen, okay, this is how I trade, right? Absolute mess. I like a dirty kitchen when I do trading. You can't even see the price action. If I can't see the price, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I just hold thumbs, close my eyes, and hope for the best. Right, legends, so quite a lot I want to go through today, and I think, you know, that is why folders are so important, right? I can just clean up the kitchen so easy, and then voila, right? We have a nice little clean chart here. Legends, smash up the like on your way in. Let's analyze the price of Bitcoin, currently getting a nice little relief rally here to the upside. I won't call it a bull cycle yet, you know, a bull run here to the upside, but we've had such a dump here to the downside. And as per the thumbnail, you know, the bears are partying. The bears are partying. Maybe we should join the party. Right, legend, should we join the party? Maybe I need to go and crack a beer. Maybe throw myself a cocktail. Anyways, legends, I think the bears are having an absolute blast, right? Yes, boot, bear party. Hannes, I see your comment today. My brother told me you wrote so many comments yesterday and I didn't see any of them. So Hannes, I saw your comment today. Welcome to the live stream. Right, legends, quite a lot I want to discuss today. Also want to briefly touch on what we spoke about yesterday, but I am glad as a community we were expecting the drop here to the downside. Did it go down aggressively? Yes. I mean, it just looks like it went down here with a straight line without breathing, catching its breath to the upside. So we absolutely just, you know, continuing to dump here to the downside. And I mean, just analyzing the structure here quickly. We can get into the smaller time frames in a moment. I wouldn't be surprised if we got the bounce at the 0.88. Yes, we got the bounce at the 0.88, which increases the probabilities. Once you tap the 0.88, okay, you are sooner or later going to come and claim this low. Has to be said. It has to be said. Nice little relief rally here to the upside. But what I have often seen from a 0.88 tap, okay, is that even with a retracement, you increase the probabilities of claiming the low, okay, at some point. Doesn't have to be right now, but at some point you're going to claim that low, right? It's not guaranteed, but it does increase the probabilities of claiming that low. But as a day trader, okay, we can take advantage of these moves here to the upside, right? We can make money from this little bounce here to the upside. We can make money again with a drop to the downside. So, I actually saw an example here which I wanted to share with everyone. Where can that example have liked to have been? Was it here? I think it was when you take a fib from this low to the high. You can see what happened here. You tap the 0.8. You get a relief to the upside, and bam, you take the low. Okay. And then it claimed the low, the liquidity below, okay, right? And then it found momentum back upside, made a higher low, and then, you know, we basically back into this range. But just to show everyone that the probability from the 0.88 does play out, okay, where you tap the 0.88, even with the retracement, and it can go deeper, it can even go higher, but you do increase the probabilities of smacking that low at some point. Okay, legends, there's another scenario or a couple of scenarios that I would like to discuss with everyone. So yesterday during my live stream, I was quite bearish. I showed everyone that $79,000 area. It scared the crap out of some people. Maybe you sold your spot bags, you closed your swing positions. I'm not sure what you did, right? Hopefully you didn't FOMO out of your trades. I did tell everyone I'm not closing any of my trades because the market is here to surprise us. Once I've planned a trade, and I have my stop loss in place, and I have my profit targets in place, and I know why I've entered, I do not FOMO out of the trade, especially if it's a swing position. Okay, I just let it play out. If I get stopped out, I will look for next opportunity. That's just how I roll. That is how I roll. Okay, legends, quickly. let's dive into the technical analysis. And maybe before I dive in, let me say hi to the beautiful community, and we can get the party on the road, because there's quite, under my today folder up here, there's quite a couple of things I would like to discuss today. Okay, so we'll get to that in a moment. Right, legends, let me go through the comments. Say hi, Junior. Hello, Dewald, and legends. Welcome to the live stream. Jeffrey, hello all. Hello, Dewald. Welcome. Andrea, hello. Brian, smash the like, legends. Yes, that would be much appreciated. Smash up the like on your way in. Tador, I think that's how you pronounce it. Hi, Dewald. Welcome to the stream. Murat, hello. ID Striker, Dark Striker, hello, Dewald and legends. Murat, as the FOMO minutes will be in 45 minutes later, I recommend caution here. Yes, FOMO minutes will be in exactly let's just call it half an hour, right? 37 minutes. 37 minutes from now will be the FOMO minutes. And I really don't understand why the FOMO minutes has such a big impact on the price of commodities and equities and Bitcoin and risk on assets, because they basically just read the minutes of what has happened already. They're not saying anything new, right? They're not making a decision. They're not increasing or decreasing the interest rate, right? They're just reading the minutes, okay? But for some reason, it has an impact on the market, right? I only have a couple of grand budget, micro cap left. Okay, target, do you think it's going to... my target is 2,900. Okay, we can analyze some altcoins in a moment, but first I want to stick to some technical analysis here on Bitcoin. Right, Ayush, Dewald, greetings from Amsterdam. Welcome. We, as a community, love you. Right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know, it's all about technical analysis, and, you know, I like to say that my technical analysis is based on technicals, what I see in front of me. It's not always correct, and this is why even the best traders in the world get stopped out, but it's about making more profits than what you lose, okay? Because even the best trader in the world gets stopped out, but it's about how little you lose and how much money you make with your winning trades, and that's what keeps you profitable. And I do know that there's a lot of channels out there that flash their Ferraris and their beautiful houses and the things that they own and the Rolexes and the hot tubs and all of those things, you know, but can they trade? That is the question. Can they really trade, or did they get lucky with the early investment? Maybe some of them bought Bitcoin or Ethereum during 2013, during 2014. From an investment perspective, they made a lot of money, and then they started YouTube channels pretending to be traders. Trading is a different game. Okay, it's purely based on technical analysis. For me, there's no showing off in terms of what I own and what I have. It's about teaching you how to analyze the charts so that you can do it by yourself. Right. Hi, Legend. Gullian, welcome. Dear, I've gone through that. Are we going to trade the FOMO MC live? Yes, I think we can definitely look at the volatility that the FOMC is going to cause over here, but I tend to stay out of the market with volatile news, okay? And if I am inside of the trade, I will generally just tighten up my stop loss. If I get stopped out, it's fine. I'll wait for the market just to find its feet, absorb the news, calm down, and then I jump right back in. Okay, I like the bear swimming in the pool picture with BTC in one hand and a cocktail in the other. Yes, that was the idea. The bears are having a party here to the downside, laughing at everyone that's FOMOing out of their trades. Okay, and I can tell you guys now that I have not FOMOed out of any of my swing positions. In fact, I have bought another... Well, I have opened another swing trade this morning. Believe it or not, I have, and I'll share that in a moment. It was also an altcoin request that I received in the comment section of one of my live streams saying, hey, please can you have a look at this altcoin? So I spent quite some time going through Elliott wave theory, counting the waves, looking at the bullish case scenario, but more importantly, also the bearish case scenarios. So I will go through that altcoin in this live stream as well. Cool. Dewald, the big legend, thanks for joining the live stream. Murat, okay, I think the comments are just pouring in. I'm not going to be able to go through all of them in a moment. Thank you once again for your time with us. Rado, it's an absolute pleasure. Mr. It part of the game master. Yes, Andy and Dewald, let's go. Let's go. Can you please look at ACT USD shorter time frame, please? Yes, we can go through altcoins a little bit later. Good afternoon, Dewald. So afternoon there by you. It's good evening here by me. 8:30 in the afternoon, South African time. That's why I like you, master. Thanks, Dewald. That's why you are here. It's for the education. Yes, it's for the education. It's for the technical analysis. We don't always get it right, but based on technical analysis, we determine the high probable bouncing and resistance areas to take those trading decisions with good risk management and understanding the 3 W's. Okay, very important, understanding the 3 W's. It's 4:30 a.m. in Australia. Is that Australia? Wow, right? And you are up watching the live stream. Absolutely amazing. Dedication, Mr. SGS. Let's get after it. Right, welcome to the live stream. Let's kick it off, legends. Let's kick it off. Okay, couple of things I want to discuss. I want to first open this folder and go through the stuff one by one, because if I just plonk everything onto the screen, it could be a little bit daunting. So first things first, I just want to look at the structure and see what I need to switch off and switch on. And then I just want to quickly do a recap of yesterday and see, well, does those probabilities still play a big factor, or can we start writing off some of those probabilities? So, I will get to the timing here in a moment. I think that's actually pretty important to discuss right now. I will get to that in a moment. That's the structure to the downside. I will leave that. Okay, can leave that. I just want to make sure. Yeah, that's important. Okay, cool. Legends, what I want to discuss, looking at the structure over here. Yesterday in the live stream, we were looking at the structure here on the 8-hour time frame. Okay, 1, 2, 3, still busy with the 4th wave, okay, for another leg to the upside to go and complete the 5th wave. The one thing we have to keep in mind when you take, and this is why I'm leaving the time fib over here. Unfortunately, some people have asked me, Dewald, can you not make these numbers bigger? You cannot. I've tried. And if you know how to make it bigger, then please let me know in the comments, or write a comment after the live stream in the comment section. Because if I go here onto settings, you can change the orientation and center them and middle them and put them on the side, but you for some stupid reason you cannot change the font size. I would love to make it bigger so that everyone can see the numbers over here, but I'll just talk to it. It's as easy as just talking to it. Right, legends, I have, okay, just a quick recap. The 0 is obviously from where you are measuring the time. Okay, so what I am measuring over here is this impulse. So I've took the measurement from this low over here, from the low, okay, that we created here on 7 September to the high. And I clicked on my time fib. Click. That was my first click, because I want to measure how long in time this wave took. Okay. And now I want to find out, well, how long can the correction take here to the downside, right? So, but actual fact, the 5th wave is not in, so I can't take it from that point. Let me just redo this quick. Right, sorry, legends, I made a small mistake, but I did notice my mistake. Let me do this from the high to the low. Let's go. Snap it on. Okay, that's what we need to discuss. That's better. The one other thing that I want to point out to everyone is the reason this line is red, because that is the minimum target. Any correction that finishes before the red line is usually an invalidation. Although it's never guaranteed, but it does increase probabilities significantly, is that when you have an impulse, you want the correction to finish after the red line. And then orange means more safe, okay, better for the correction to end over there, and the green is the preferred level. Right, okay, so the one thing I want to point out over here, and I have gone through this, I just want to quickly do a recap, is that this low, okay, this low, the lowest point inside of this entire structure, this low was made, guess where? Way before the red line, which is the 0.382. Okay, so I would still expect another low to be made. We have left the 1-to-1 extension. We have left the 0.618. We are now approaching the 2 extension over here, because I'm measuring how long did this correction take. Okay, because in Elliott wave theory, 1, 2, okay, which is the correction. 3, 4 is usually longer than 2 over here. Okay, longer. And it's preferably twice or even 3 times as long, but ideally at least a 1-to-1 extension. So what I love about what I'm seeing about the dump here to the downside, if we are going to come and grab the lows over here, okay, is that the low is potentially going to be made where you want to see the low to be made. Okay, it's in the right area. It's in the zone where we can make the low at any time and start recovering back to the upside. So that is some good news. Okay, so now I can take the time out the way. Just quickly wanted to run through the time at the moment. Another scenario I want to discuss over here is that, well, how deep can we go, right? The 0.382, okay, when I take a fib from number 2, because we're busy with the fourth wave, and for those of you that's been following me for a long time, you know that the 0.382 and the 50% are common, very common fourth wave targets. Okay, and what is nice about the 0.382 over here is that it's going to grab all of this liquidity below these lows. Okay, because I saw from the liquidity heat map that there's a massive amount of liquidity below this low over here. And it would be quite normal for price. Maybe we have a little bit of a pump here to the upside, a small little relief rally, and then we come back down. We tap the fib level, okay, properly, not front run it the whole time. We tap it nicely, properly. You maybe even dip a little bit down below and you find that acceptance back above, and then we continue the bull market back to the upside. And this 382, $89,000, 522 for me is a very interesting target. Okay, because there's another scenario. Well, it's actually a couple of scenarios, but I'm trying to discuss the scenarios as data becomes available. Okay, there is a scenario where we only tap the 0.382. So yesterday we spoke about $77,000, $79,000, but I just want to highlight that there's also a scenario where you only tap $89,000, you claim the liquidity, and we continue. You don't have to go to the 50%. You don't have to go to $79,000, right? You could literally have that tap and go back to the upside. And the reason this level is becoming a little bit more interesting to me is because of, do you guys remember yesterday's live stream? Everyone talking about, including myself, talking about this ABC to the downside inside of the common C wave box, which aligns with the 50% fib level. In an ABC, what you would like to see is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure to the downside to complete your C wave. But I do see a lot of people talking about the scenario at the moment. Media has caught on. Social media has caught on. I see every Tom, Dick, and Harry now talking about the ABC here to the downside. And when everyone is watching a level, you know, there's usually one or two things that's going to happen. You're either going to front run it. Okay, you tap the 0.382, and this is why this level is becoming so interesting, and this is why I'm trying to find scenarios that make sense, that can support that level. You're either going to front run it, or you're going to go down deeper to scare the crap out of everyone, but you're not going to get that soft landing that everyone is expecting. Okay, there's just too many people keeping an eye on that ABC scenario here to the downside. And when too many people are watching an area of confluence, or too many people are watching a specific pattern or a trend line that everyone is waiting for the breakout, the market makers, you know, they change up the game. They put some spice and chili inside of the sauce, and they usually do one of two things. They front run that level, forcing people to buy in at higher levels, because I can just imagine how many people are sitting, you know, big market players, people trading with millions of dollars, putting their limit orders inside here, the 50% box, waiting for that C wave here to the downside, and then you force them to buy into higher levels when they see market structure starting to change. Okay, or you smash it, stop all of, you know, they kick in their orders, and it stops them out at the same time. It drops, which, but I mean, I think for now this is the level that I'm watching that carries slight higher probability than just seeing the dump to the downside, because the dump to the downside would mean that this, okay, is not number 3, it is number 5, the end of the impulse. It can like to be the end of the impulse, and we have counted the structure incorrectly, and we're going down to much lower levels and perhaps even tap $61,000. Right, and the reason I don't think we will ever go, okay, maybe that's a strong word, ever go below $61,000 or even $67,000 is because of the massive support over here. It's just look at the support. It is insane, massive support over here. It also aligns with, I think, the 0.618, okay, 0.618. I don't know if we will ever get past $69,000, but I just want to play out both scenarios to say that that box, okay, yes, let me just clean up the scribble because it's looking like a spaghetti mess here at the moment, okay. Let's just do this over here, right? This box over here, the common C wave target, which is at the 50% fib level when you take your fib from this pivot over here, okay, is looking too familiar. It's too many eyes on it at the moment, okay, and it's either going to do this, right? It's just going to fall out of nowhere. It's going to scare the crap out of everyone. It's going to stop me out of all my swing trades. And then it's going to be epic here to the upside. It's going to be absolutely epic. But I mean, there's still a lot that needs to happen before we can actually call for this scenario. So for now, I think the highest probability from a technical perspective is to perhaps get the bounce at $89,000 and front run this zone. And I will show you now. Hey, Legend Andy in the comment section. I saw Andy did a live stream now just before me. Absolute legends, also talking about that bounce there from the 0.88. I mean, what a crazy structure, Andy, to count here to the downside. But it does look like we're getting a little bit of a relief rally here to the upside. And legends, for those of you that have not seen Andy's live stream, okay, I just need to show you guys in this video. Okay, let me do this. Go into the description. You click on more. I'm just going to zoom in to show everyone. And then I've got Andy the man, okay? An absolute legend in technical analysis. Link for his YouTube channel down in the description. Go give him a follow. One of the best traders out in the industry, right? Cool, legends. So let's get back here into the action. So in summary, what I'm trying to highlight over here, legends, is one of two things is going to happen. I think there is a scenario that I'm keeping an eye on, that not many people are keeping an eye on, where we could potentially get that relief rally. Okay, we could even go and claim the high, right? Can even go and claim the high and make the world bullish. And we tap the 0.382 at $89,000. Yeah, $89,000, and we continue the momentum to the upside and leave all of these people behind. So that is the scenario I want to talk about today, because yesterday we were very bearish, okay? We spoke about the bearish case scenario, potentially even hitting $79,000. Today I want to talk about a bearish / slightly bullish scenario that could potentially leave these people behind, because I don't like the fact that too many people are keeping an eye on this level. And also the reason, okay, the reason this level is also so juicy is that when you take, okay, when you have a ABC, let's draw that in quickly. When you have an A, B, C to the downside, well, now that we have an A and a B wave, we can measure where the C wave can end, okay? So you can take your trend-based fib from the high to the low of A, just make sure that I snap it on there perfectly, to the high of B, round about there. Okay, and I know it's overlappy a little bit, so let me do this so we can see the levels clearer. Okay, I just want to leave this fib here, and you can see, okay, 1-to-1 extension is between the 0.5 and the 0.3. Very common, and this is why my box starts there. Okay, this is why the box starts there. Let me just do this so we can read what I've got in the box. 1-to-1 extension and the 1.236 are very common C wave targets, and it aligns here with the 50% fib level. So based on the 1-to-1 extension and the 1.236 and a maximum target of the 1.618, this is why I wrote here extended C wave. This is where this little bad boy can end in any of these two boxes. And I think there's too many people waiting for that explosive move here to the upside. So I'm speculating over here, well, what if we tap the 0.382 at the 786 retracement and we say, bam, let's go, let's rock and roll here to the upside. It would also make sense for some of the altcoins, okay? If you think about where the altcoins is at the moment and the critical levels they are almost at the stage where some of them are going to take the lows from the bullish structures. This little scenario actually makes more sense for me at the moment, considering that perhaps this will also allow some of our favorite altcoins to keep their bullish structures intact, because I think this is going to be an absolute bloodbath to the downside. Okay, unless dominance collapses and it just protects the altcoins from not losing their bullish structures. And I want to explain those bullish structures on some of the altcoins with you in a moment, but let's finish the technical analysis here on Bitcoin first. Right, okay. So legends, now what I want to do is zoom into this structure, okay, to show you, well, if you have an A, okay, a 5-wave structure here down in A, and you have a 3-wave structure here in B, now what you want to see is impulses form to the downside. So ideally, what everyone is now waiting for is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everyone wants now the 5-wave structure to the downside. And how funny would it be, okay? How funny and crazy would it be to get a 1, 2, 3? Everyone is waiting for 4 and 5, and it says, goodbye, let's go. Right. So that's the scenario I want to discuss today. Cool, legends. So let me zoom in here onto the 4-hour time frame, and we go and have a quick little squiz at the structure over here. Okay, so I can take that out the way. I can take this out the way, and it's basically the scenario over here. Okay, so when I zoom into the structure, I think there is also a possibility for a potential WXY, which is just a very complex corrective structure. So I have it painted out over here, but basically what it means is you have a W, okay, which ended over here. You have now finished your X, and you are now busy with a Y wave, which could be a zigzag, which taps the low 0.382 in a 3-wave structure, okay, 5, 3, 5, however you want to count it, but a zigzag. It taps the 0.382, it completes the Y, and it moves to the upside. The Y wave can also be a flat. Flat basically means it takes the high, it finds support over here, it takes the high, and then it takes the low. That's a flat. It takes the high and it takes the low. Okay, a flat can also be a Y wave. A Y wave can also be a triangle, where it's going to form a triangle and you're going to have that little flag. But I think based on the 0.88 that we've just tapped here at the bottom, the 0.88 that we've just tapped, I think the triangle has lower probability for me at the moment. Yes, Fonk meeting minutes in 14 minutes. So legends, I think this scenario is definitely something that we need to keep an eye on. So although I have said yesterday in the live stream, okay, that we are looking for a 5-wave structure to form here to the downside, I just want to highlight that we might not get it, and we need to be prepared. Okay, so I think one of two things is definitely going to happen. If we do start forming a 5-wave structure here to the downside, and there's bearish CVD continuously building up, like what has been happening here to the downside, continuous bearish CVD on the local time frames, and even with this momentum here to the upside, there's more bearish CVD forming, confirming another leg to the downside, I'm going to say, okay, well, you know, we're going to get that soft landing. Everyone is going to get what they wanted. It just doesn't sound right when I say it. Everyone's going to get what they wanted. Doesn't sound right. I would rather want to see a 1, 2, 3. okay, well, not that deep. Let me just take the scribble out, not to confuse myself. I would rather want to see a 1, 2, 3. Claims the liquidity. Okay, massive amount of liquidity below that pivot. You can go and have a squiz on the liquidity heat map. We can do that in a second. It taps the FIB level for the first time. You can see that this FIB level has not been tapped after the high. Okay, this FIB level has not been tapped just as yet. So it would be nice to make that zigzag to the downside. You grab the liquidity and then you find upwards momentum. Okay. Or you're going to have the 5-wave structure to the downside, because I think a lot of people are going to wait for the 4-5 to hit this box. But I mean, this is the front running scenario that I'm trying to highlight over here. It can be a triangle, which I think has lower probabilities, but also this can be a flat where it takes the high. Okay, this little 0.88 tap that we've just had does have the potential to claim the high. It does have the potential, but not guaranteed, unfortunately. This little Y wave over here, so if this is a W, X, Y here to the downside, Y waves are extremely complex. The WX is usually the easy part of the corrective structure, but it's the Y that's confusing, because you don't know if it's going to be a normal zigzag, you don't know if it's going to be a flat, and you don't know if it's going to be a triangle. So you just have to observe the price reaction and look at CVDs, find signs of weakness and strength, look at your daily levels, point of controls, trade with good risk management, level to level. Okay, but I will be very interested in watching this level at $89,789 very closely. Okay, so this is the point that I was trying to make over here, is based on yesterday's live stream. I just want to highlight that there's a chance that we don't get here. Neither do we get here. There is a chance. But I do think if we do get here, I have a feeling that things are going to get a little bit worse to the downside. Okay, because like I said, you either front run or you scare the crap out of everyone. All the people that bought in here and all the people that bought in here gonna think, oh crap, what did I do? I shouldn't have put my limit orders there. And I didn't put a stop loss, okay? And then you get the bounce. You first scare the crap out of everyone. You put them underwater so they FOMO out of their positions. They liquidate their positions. Okay, cool, legends. And remember, my two favorite exchanges that I do most of my trading on, or all of my trading basically, is Weeks and Bluffin. Links down in the description. I've spent some time today just cleaning up the description at the bottom so you guys can find the links a little bit smoother. Okay, Weeks, 20k sign-up bonus, up to 20k sign-up bonus, and the lowest trading fees where you only need an email and a password to sign up. Bluffin, also only an email and a password. The more you trade, more money gets airdropped into your account. They also have that $200,000 competition that is running at the moment, where you can get registered and start trading to, you know, get your share of the cookie jar. Right, so legends, I just want to take this box out. Don't need that box anymore. And those are basically the scenarios that I wanted to check over here. So based on this bounce, legends, now we go into the 1 hour time frame. Okay, based on this bounce from the low to the high, where we now have tapped finally the 8.8 over here, I really thought that we were going to find support here by the 786. Okay, because there was if I switch on my levels, there's weekly levels, there's point of controls. It was just such a strong area of support. But what I do like is we left a wick behind. Okay, that's usually a good sign. On the 1 hour time frame, you can see how quickly this little dump was bought up. It left the body above the levels and it left a wick behind, but it did tap the 0.88. So although we found support, and I told the legends this morning inside of our Legends Pro community, it's such a strong level, I would be surprised if we break it successfully. So we did dip below, but we got bought up very quickly, and now currently we are trading above. So we could potentially now get a little bit of a relief bounce back to the upside. Okay, but because we tapped the 0.88 unfortunately you increase the probabilities of still taking the low. And now you can see how that WXY wave to the downside still makes sense, that even with a bounce to the upside, whether you make a lower high, you still have the probability of claiming that low, or even in a flat scenario where we go back up and we claim the high, there's still a very good chance that you're going to still come and claim this low in a flat before you get the rally back to the upside. The bull rally, the fifth wave, all-time highs. Okay, this is not going to break all-time highs. I think there's nothing's ever, impossible in the market, but I don't think that there's a high probable chance for price especially after it tapped the 0.88 to just move and go into price discovery. Okay, it's not impossible. I know nothing is ever impossible in crypto, but from a probability and a statistical perspective, based on technical analysis, when you tap a 0.88, it is unlikely you could still claim this high over here, right, in a flat, but the probability is still higher to come and claim the low at some point. So it's either going to be a lower high, you claim it, or a flat, which is basically an ABC flat. Okay, and A waves can be 5-wave structures, which this is a 5-wave structure here to the downside. I am a little bit curious on the smaller time frames to go and count this little structure here to the downside. I did have an attempt this morning, but as more data becomes available, it becomes more interesting. And right, just want to see. I think I deleted those scenarios. Okay, legends, let me go through some comments and we can dive into some more technical analysis. Okay, Andy, yes, Andy was in the live stream. He just popped in and popped out. I'm not sure if he's still here, but I mean the legend himself here in the live stream, an absolute master trader. And inside the Legends Pro community as well, that's where myself and Andy provides daily alpha and technical analysis. You also get access to Andy's masterclass that teaches you everything you need to know about trading. So definitely, link is down in the description if you'd like to come and join our Legends Pro community. Okay, Cliff, hi Sir Dewald. Where do you think the relief rally will go? Okay, we can go and analyze that in a moment, because I mean, I need to go and count the structure in a little bit more detail here to the downside. Okay, because we could still be forming a 4 and a 5, claim the low once again before we go up, or maybe the impulse is completed. I just need to go and count the structure, but there are some levels that I will definitely be paying attention to. So from a simplicity perspective, you take a fib from the high to the low. Okay, now you have some Fibonacci levels that you need to keep an eye on. Okay, and I need to go and count the structure like I said, but if we are still in the formation of a 1 2 3 4 5 4 5, because there is a 1 2 3 4 5 4 5, so it does have the potential that this is the end of the structure, although that fourth wave is very small, but we could still go back up here for a fourth wave, of which 382 is and the 50% is your maximum target. So basically in this box, okay, there is still the potential to go back up here for a fourth wave and claim the low again, and then get the momentum back to the upside. Right, so I will spend some time now here on the 15-minute time frame. I'll zoom out or zoom in, and we can go and count the structure here together. But I mean, basically what it comes down to is that let me switch on my trends. From a simplicity perspective, let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Okay, let me just make this shorter so we can see the fib levels. Okay, from a simplicity perspective, what you want to see is the break of this trend. Okay, you can see how beautifully we rejected here by this trend. FOMC minutes in, plus T minus 4 minutes. Okay, guys, I'm not a fundamental trader, right? It's interesting to see how the news impacts the price, really interesting to see, but I'm not a fundamental trader. I'm a technical trader. Okay, so I'm aware of the news coming out, because that's where I tighten up my stop losses if I am inside of a trade, or just exit the position, or if I'm in a fun mood, I'll just throw $100 or $200 and, you know, bet on whether I think the news is going to be bullish or bearish. Community. Yes, Andy, come join us, legends. Yes, Andy is still here in the live stream. Andy is still in the live stream. Awesome to see the legend here. Okay, so legends, first point of order is that we need to break this little trend over here. Okay, which we now perfectly rejected by. So we got the tap by the 0.88, nice little bullish bounce, and here is potentially a trading opportunity if you break this trend here successfully. Okay, some high time frame candle closes above that, retest for continuation here to the upside until we get to the next obstacle, which is this trend over here. So I'm now discussing the simple trading strategy, the breakout trading strategy. Okay, we have to acknowledge that we do have resistance. Okay, we have resistance over here. So if you play this breakout, you have to be aggressive with profit taking. Remember, we are day traders, we are scalpers. We get in, we get out, we take our profits, we call it a day. Okay, don't be the trader that plays the breakout over here thinking that we're going to go into price discovery. You'll never make money. Okay, you'll be stopped out more times than you make money. Okay, so this little breakout, I think, could be an interesting breakout to come and claim the liquidity above these highs. Okay, it's also here in confluence with a 0.382. So, you know, maybe it's going to break up here, maybe reject here by the trend line, and then find downwards momentum. And it could then very well find support out of the scene of the crime. Okay, the scene of the crime that we've lost. We dip below. You have the breakout, you reject in this area, you claim the liquidity above the highs, you come back down, and now the question is, you can form a higher low and then have the break of this trend. Okay, and then you need to be aggressive with profit taking, because yeah, these little pivots looks very interesting. Okay, these little pivots here look very interesting for liquidity sweep, because you might break out over here and find weakness by the 0.618. You claim the liquidity here above, you find weakness, and you come back down and you form that lower high to the downside. A little bit further up, we have this little order block, the resistance area by the 786. Okay, but I do want to highlight, as per the higher time frame that I've just gone through, there is a possibility, okay, for a flat. And what a flat basically means, you build a 5-wave structure to the upside, you claim the high, and you come back down and you claim the low, and this low over here. There is a potential, there is a possibility, okay, never guaranteed. And for now, I would rather just bank on the lower high. It's an easier, safer trade. It's it's more guaranteed in terms of banking some profits. So I just want to see, do we have any point of controls? I mean, we've smashed all the levels to the downside. Okay, we've literally just smashed all the levels to the downside. So we just have to do pure resistance and support boxes over here. So I mean, where is my box? Okay, yeah, we have some very, very nice resistance by the 50% FIP level. You can see breakout, failed, retest, breakout, support, you lost it to the downside. Great resistance area to the upside. Okay, and then here by the highs. Okay, here by the highs. Just want to see if that point, I need to go back onto larger time frames just to see, to spot where, if I can see. Oh yeah, definitely. Right, it takes some time. You need to spend some time doing this, legends. There is some resistance by the 786. You can see broke support, lost it, came back down, support, lost it. Okay, so I mean, you could even drag the box a little bit further down, but we do have resistance here to the upside. Okay, so if you don't have daily levels, weekly levels, whatever the case might be, you know, this is where you have to rely on old school technical analysis, where you look at the price action to determine resistance and support. Right, there's obviously another, let me do that, clone, another resistance box over here. Okay, so if we do have a flat, definitely an area of rejection over there. Right. Okay, cool. And I wouldn't be surprised if I go on to the 1 hour. Let's just do a fixed range profile and see if we can spot anything there. So let's do this fixed range volume profile, and we just do it from there, because basically the price action that's in the similar range. Okay, value area high, very interesting. Okay, so this is now where you build up confluence. I'm just doing some live technical analysis here. But look at this 0.786. Okay, this is now where things become interesting. So at the 50% FIP level, you have nice resistance to the upside. So if the move plays out, we break through the trend, maybe we reject over there. Okay, you don't know. We could also have a breakout, but let's say we reject, we come back down, you test the scene of the crime as support, you then break out, you have resistance at the 50% FIP level. Okay, and then a little bit further up, together with the value area high at the 786, you also have resistance. So there is that chance that you're either going to roll down from one of those zones. But as I highlighted, there's also the scenario where you claim the high, but I'm rather just going to look at these two scenarios, because if people enter trades, okay, expecting to claim the highs and it doesn't come, you're most likely going to be stopped out with no profits in the bag. Right, so those are the areas to the upside that I see potential rejection, but I mean also the point of control, right? Okay, and this is why the 382 and these highs to me look so juicy. Okay, because point of control, do you guys know what a point of control is? So basically inside of this entire range that we've been in, where I pulled the fixed range profile here from 19 November up until where we are now, this is where the most amount of volume was traded. We have a high volume node over there. Okay, so in this entire range, this is where the most amount of volume was traded. And these nodes offer great support and resistances when price goes and hits those levels. Okay, you can see, right? You can see how it chopped through this level. It broke out, lost it, retested it as resistance, found support. Okay, it bounced here, it had a consolidation, it lost it. So there is a chance where price comes back up, it breaks the trend, and I would like to see the sweep of the liquidity above the highs over there and tap the 50% FIP level. That's basically where I had that support box. Okay, I had my resistance box over here, where you struggle to get through the point of control. Maybe you even tap that 50% FIP level, you claim the liquidity above these highs, and down you go. Right, so definitely the chance for a lower high over here, and if we successfully break through the point of control, you flip it into support, then the next area is the 786. Next area in confluence with the value area high for a potential lower high to the downside. But I do expect, legends, this low to be claimed. It's not guaranteed, but I think there's a high probable chance because of the 0.8 tap over here to claim this low once again. So I'm looking for the structure to roll over in this zone. And if we do get a flat, okay, an SFP from the highs, that would be stunning. So basically how I would trade the scenario over here is that if we do not roll over and we just find strength here to the upside. Okay, let me just clean up the scribble. If we find strength here to the upside, just smashing the levels, and we get above this high and it struggles and it gets back down, right? SFP, swing failure from the highs, failed auction, depending on whether there's a high time frame candle closes above. That could be an epic short back to the bottom to even come and claim this low and tap the 0.382 at $89,700. Right, maybe you come and tap this resistance box over here. I mean, that would be stunning. We have a weekly level and a point of control that has not been tapped just as yet. So if we do have a flat to the upside and you find weakness in this zone, that could be an epic. You could find an entry over here and you don't even have to wait for this entry. Okay, you can play your SFP there from the weekly and the point of control. Enter, you stop above the high, and this could be an epic short here to the downside to come and claim the low, this low, and come bounce here potentially at $89,700. Okay, 1 minute until some volatility. Oh, well, 6 minutes ago, right? 5 minutes ago. Good day, everyone. Powell, it's Mr. Powell in the house. Lol. Good afternoon, Jeffrey. Welcome. Cutest girls. Hello, Jerome. Gotta wait. Okay, you guys chatting here to each other. We'll bring also masterclass for the community. Dewald, will you also bring a masterclass to the community? Yes, it is something that I have been thinking about, and I think it's something that I need to put together. Okay, but I don't want to necessarily put my own masterclass together. What I would like to do is include additional modules inside of Andy's masterclass so that it will become our masterclass, where Andy has some of his modules and trading strategies that he looks at, and I will throw in some of my trading strategies and potentially some missing pieces that I feel that needs to be in there. So I think it would be better to have a combined masterclass between myself and Andy instead of having separate ones. Okay, but yes, it is something that I have been thinking about. And I just need to, do it, right? It's going to take some work to put it together, I know, but I think I need to do it. Maybe my goal for the next three to 4 months. Right, legends, I think I have now literally discussed all the scenarios that I can like to be watching here on the price of Bitcoin. Okay, I quickly want to go into the 15-minute time frame and just see what the structure looks like. Just want to clean up the chart ever so slightly. And I was very curious about this structure here to the downside. Very curious. I just wanted to see if it's an expanding. It looks like it turned out to be an expanding diagonal over here. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't really make sense. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a first wave. Okay, 1, 2, 3 can't be a 4 and a 5 to the downside. Nonetheless, legends, I'm not going to try and count the structure. I might have to go into the 5-minute time frame just to see the waves, but we have the probabilities. Okay, we have I didn't want to delete that trend. We have the probabilities. We know what we need to look for. Regardless of how the structure formed here to the downside, it does look like it could be the end of the impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 somehow. Okay, because I do see the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 also a possibility, but it could be the end of the impulse over here. Okay, and we are due for a little bit of a relief rally here to the upside. We've identified the profit taking areas, potentially playing the breakout where you need to take profits. I mean, if this successfully breaks out with high volume candle closes above, the retracement has bullish CVD, you could be finding yourself in a situation where we're still finding upwards momentum, but this could be a rejection area, and a little bit further up here by the 786 could also be that rejection area in confluence with the value area high. So we have our plan. We know what to look out for. From a longing perspective, from a shorting perspective, we now have our levels. Okay, cool. Right, to the downside, legends, let me just quickly highlight this one last scenario over here. Okay, we need to have that scenario that no one saw coming. Okay, for in case price falls there to the downside. So let me just clean this up. If price continues, okay, nominal. FOMC is nominal, right? It's a nothing burger, right? Nothing's really happening. Price is just standing still. If price does not make a recovery here to the upside and it continues to fall here to the downside, the only other level that we have left, which for me has high confidence, a high probable bouncing area, is the 0.382. So if price does not do this and it continues to grind here to the downside, okay, you are going to sweep up so much liquidity down here. You're going to tap this FIB level for the first time. I would expect at least a bounce from this area. And I'm not saying, because now when the structure does this, okay, we might have to look at other probabilities, okay? But I at least expect a bounce. So if we do not get this little bit of a relief rally here to the upside and we keep on grinding down, all I want to highlight is $89,000, 789, where we need to keep our eyes peeled. That could be a nice little bouncing area, and it could be a big bounce, it could be a small bounce, and it could even be the bounce that takes us to the all-time high. So, you know, we just need to, as traders, we need to be prepared for all levels. Because I am just aware, I just want to go back here onto, let's go to the 10-minute time frame. I'm just aware of what if, okay? I always like to play out what if scenarios. What if this is building up 1, 2, 1, 2, 1? Okay, that 1, 2 is invalidated. Okay, so, okay, my what if scenario is now calmed. Okay, I don't have to go through that. If we didn't make this high over here, I would have said, what if 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, and you're just gonna fall. Like you're just gonna, it's gonna be like a knife through butter. It's just gonna slice to the downside. But because we took that high over there, with this little wick, saved us. Whew, it saved us. That little wick, brother, it saved us. Okay, because you cannot have a 1 2 where you've taken the high over there. So that invalidated the structure. So for now, I think the probabilities is still on the higher side, that if we could potentially be breaking out of this trend successfully, and then we'll see what happens when we get here. But that could be a nice little scalp trade. You get in, you get out. Do not expect price discovery from this move. Do not think that this is going to be the trade. It's never the trade. There's always another trade around the corner. If you're a day trader, you have to think about the next 100 trades, the next 200 trades. If every trade is the trade, you're not going to make money. Okay, you're going to burn your account. Okay, cool, legends. Let me go through the comment section. Buy at the bottom of the bear market and hold for 3 years. Cash out reach. Well, brave comment, but no one knows where the bottom of the bear market was, because I remember when we hit the bottom, so many people were calling for $10,000 and it never came, right? You just had to keep on DCAing, keep on DCAing. You just DCA, DCA, DCA. Right. ETH please, legend. 2,900 my target. I see Solana hitting 400 maximum. Yeah, I see about 382 conservatively. So 400 is, I think, a very good target, realistic target. I think it's a realistic target. I do have a model where Solana goes to $800, but I don't want to share it with everyone, because then everyone holds on and then $800 doesn't come and then I'm to blame. So there is a model that I have where Solana hits $800, but I think from a conservative perspective, from a realistic perspective, I also agree. $382 I think is a realistic target. AR please, I will go through that. So guys, before we jump into some more altcoins, I know you would like to see ETH, your $2,900 target. I quickly want to go through Rune. Yes, Hannes, you hit the nail on the head. Rune. I quickly want to go through Rune. Right, this altcoin was requested in the comment section after the live stream. So after this live stream, if I haven't gone through your altcoin, just post your altcoin, and hopefully you only post one, maybe two. Okay, I don't think it's fair for someone to go and post the entire altcoin portfolio in a comment section asking me to look at all of them, because those are some of the comments that I got. Someone posted, I think, 10 or 15 tokens that I needed to go and analyze, and I was just like, no, I think you are taking advantage over here. I'm not going to spend the whole day analyzing your entire portfolio, right? So let's go through Rune here at the moment. And remember, legends, these altcoins, Rune including Bitcoin, can be traded on weeks, okay, where you only need an email and a password to sign up, low trading fees, and up to $20,000 sign-up bonus depending on which activities you complete, how much you deposit, how much you trade. So they've got some fun activities for you to complete inside the exchange. And then Bluffin, also, all you need is an email and a password, and they have that $200,000 competition running at the moment, where you can go and register and partake in the competition, make some extra cash just by doing the trading that you do every day in any event. Okay, cool, legends. Now, what I want to discuss here on Rune, and I've actually now given the secret source away, so let me take that away. Okay, let's discuss Rune. Someone asked me for Rune in the comment section, and I did a deep dive into Rune so that I don't have to spend 2 hours on the live stream going to count all the waves and trying to make sense of the chart. So I have done all the work, so that all I have to do now is pick my two buttons and show you the bullish case scenario and show you the bearish case scenario. As simple as that. Right. What I do like about Rune, okay, is that it has a very similar structure to most of the altcoins that I'm keeping an eye on at the moment. Rune, Flux, 𝗖, AR, and a couple of others, right? I can't remember them all off by heart, but there's a lot. WLD is another one. There's a lot of them that have exactly the same structure. So by me spending a little bit of time here on Rune will open the door and answer your questions in terms of potentially another altcoin that you are keeping an eye on if you see the similar structure playing out. Okay, so legends, what I did here on Rune is the following. I have a bullish case scenario and I have a bearish case scenario, because as a responsible trader, I cannot be optimistically bullish without having a bearish scenario, or just bearish without having a bullish scenario. So let's share both. I'm going to share with you both scenarios, and then I'm going to share with you what I think is wrong with one of the scenarios and which scenario carries the highest probability. Okay, thanks so much for the super chat, ADA. Okay, what I will do is I will open up ADA over here for the legend so that I don't forget about it. For the super chat, I appreciate it. Okay, let's just do ADA. I'm not going to go through it just as yet. I'm first going to discuss Rune and then we can go through ADA. Right, so at least I have it loaded here now. Okay, so let's do ADA after we do Rune. Okay, cool, legends. So I mean, here on the daily time frame, just to take stock of where we are, we all know this little structure that we see from most of our favorite altcoins. I specifically love to analyze an altcoin that has been through the previous bull cycle. I really like to have a lot of data to analyze. Okay, I love the bull cycle and the correction we had to the downside and this long accumulation zone, and now it's finding life. Volume is picking up. So these are typically the altcoins that I love to do technical analysis on. When someone sends me a picture of this, okay, or asks me to analyze a coin that only has limited amount of data, all you can do is trade the fundamentals and the hype. There's no technical analysis. So this is why I like to do technical analysis on Flux, on Rune, on Solana, on Injective Protocol, on ADA, on DOT, on AVAX. Okay, these are some of the coins that I like to do technical analysis on because they have history. Okay, cool. So legends, first scenario. Let's go through the first scenario. Let's discuss the bullish case scenario over here. This is what I see for Rune from a bullish case perspective. Okay, this is what I see from a bearish case perspective. Done. Right, let's go and do ADA. Just joking. Just joking. I'm just entertaining myself here over legends. Remember, nothing is ever financial advice, right? So what I see here, just to quickly paint out the picture so that if you do have your favorite altcoin in front of you, and whether that being DOT, AVAX, Flux, Injective Protocol, ICP, whatever you name it, right? Go and see if you can find a similar structure. So first things that I did is I went and I spent some time measuring out all of these waves to make sure that it is indeed a 5-wave impulse to the upside. So although it looks so silly that I just have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can promise you guys that I went and I measured out all the moves to make sure from a logarithmic perspective and from a regular perspective that the waves balance and I'm not just smoking my socks. Okay. Right, XLM. Yes, we can go look at some more altcoins in a moment. XRP, Doge, right? Everyone wants to see entry plus targets. Please like M on YouTube. Yes, I'm going to go through everything here on Rune, and you could most probably apply that to your favorite altcoin as well. Okay, cool. So, legends, let's start. We have, okay, a beautiful impulse to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What happens after a beautiful impulse is that you should have a correction similar in time, not taking the low. Okay, so we did not take the low. In fact, we actually bounced at the 786. When you take a fib from the low to the high, I deleted the fib. It just made the chart look too messy. We bounced here on the 786. Slightly below, but a nice bouncing area, of which 2 over here, okay, has a maximum target of the 786. So perfect. It balances. Right. And then you have a beautiful corrective structure. So from a timing perspective, when I measure the time, how long this took and how long the correction took here to the downside, it is very similar in time, almost a one-to-one extension. So a beautiful impulsive structure with a beautiful correction that made a higher low in a wave 2. Okay. Then this little monstrosity of what you see over here is where I spent the most amount of attention to, because now this is potentially where I need to build my swing position. Okay, and I have told everyone I did open up a swing position today, and guess what? It was on Rune. I do have a Rune spot bag. Okay, I do have a Rune spot bag, but I decided I'm going to build a small little swing position here on Rune, and I will get to as to why in a moment. Right, so now I want to go on to the 4-hour time frame and look at this structure over here, okay? Because now this is what we're interested in. If this is the low, so from a bullish case perspective, and I'm going to go through the bearish case now. From a bullish case perspective, you want this to be the low. It should not be taken. Clear invalidation. It also usually, okay, in trading, it is said when something ends on a massive amount of volume, like what you see there, the most amount of volume inside of this entire structure was at this low. It signifies the end of something and the start of something new. So that needs to be the low for this bullish structure to remain bullish to the upside. Okay, so now let's zoom into the 4-hour time frame, and remember, Rune can be traded on weeks and Bluffin, links down in the description. You can spot trade them and leverage trade them by only using an email and a password. So now that I look at this structure, legends, what I see here, okay, on Rune is a potential, and I have gone and measured out all the waves, and I have counted the corrective structures. There's a couple of problems, but there's always a little bit of problems, especially on the altcoins, and you just have to find the scenario that has the least amount of mistakes. But I can count a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in an expanding diagonal. Some people refer to it as a trumpet pattern. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This little puppy over here, this fifth wave, okay, is now your wave 1. Okay, now this correction, and I'm referring to this as a correction, needs to be your wave 2. So in other words, what you want to see over here is a 1, 2, and a 3 to the upside. Okay, to go and complete this bigger third wave over here, right? And so just going back here to the structure, let me just take the scribble out. This now brings me to the load up zone, the buying opportunity. Okay, so what you would like to see is if this is corrective, and you can see we are in the load up zone, and this is why I bought some. And you can see that I have a 1.618 as a corrective target, which we have just tapped. We have just tapped the 0.618 when I take a fib extension from the high to the low to the high. Okay, we have tapped the 1.618, which is generally considered a maximum corrective structure target. It can go down a little bit lower, but ideally I don't want us to tap the 0.88, although it won't invalidate in this scenario. The hardcore invalidation is taking the low. I would like for Rune to find support in the load up zone. In the green box for me is a buying opportunity. Okay, Dewald as a chance to get to your coin, he will cover this. Right, yes, definitely. Let me just, go through the technical analysis here on Rune before I jump into any other altcoins. So this to me is the load up zone, and this is why I took a position in Rune. I loaded up a small swing trade 2x leverage, and I didn't enter with all of my capital in risking my entire portfolio, because I'm still planning to buy and maybe scoop up the lows as it consolidates inside of this box. It might just tap this level and rampage. At least I do have a position, but this, legends, this is the buy zone. Another thing you have to pay attention to is timing, because from the start of the impulse over here, to the end at number 5. Okay, what you ideally would like to see is that the correction ends inside of this zone over here, at least after the 0.382. But what I have not done, and I actually want to go and pull out an example. I know that Brett, the meme coin Brett, has done a very similar structure, and it has in fact made the higher low, and it has continued to the upside. So I think what I'm interested in doing is to see how long did the corrective structure take on Brett, and that will give us an idea of, is the low in and it's not going to tap the 0.382, or do we have to wait until the end of this month or maybe the end of Feb before the correction will be finished and then we get the explosion to the upside? So let's just load up a new chart. I quickly just want to go and have a look at a quick squiz at Brett. And here we go. So let's do Brett here on the daily as well. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. Here we go. I see it. I see it. I see it. There is your... Okay, I can take this all the way. Right, legends. I mean, it has to be said, and I'm not sure if there's anyone that took this trade, but this was a trade that I highlighted inside of our Legends Pro community many months ago. 25 September 2024, I highlighted this trade. Okay, it was such an epic trade, and I'm not sure if anyone took it. I highlighted this trade, and it played out. Okay, very long-term swing position trade where basically I saw the break of the trend. You enter, you can even add a little bit here with the retest. The stop was below the low, you're targeting the highs, and I mean the rest is history, right? We took the highs. So this trade actually played out to perfection. Nonetheless, doesn't help us today, right? Does not help us. So let me take these trends out the way, and basically we're looking at a very similar expanding structure over here, like we have on Rune. Okay. So where you basically have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now that's the corrective structure. So what I am interested in is the timing. I want to see from a timing perspective, where did this low end? Okay, so from a timing perspective, from the low to the high, bam. That's what I wanted to see. Impulse, 1. Correction, 2. Between the 0.382 and the 0.618 is where this low was made. Bam, here to the upside. Okay. Also, I want to see how deep it retraced. So let's take a fib from the low to the high. Just want to take the timing fib out to make sure that I've got the right high there. Tap the 786 to the dollar. Look at that. 786 to the dollar. It finished in between the 382 and the 0.618. You made the low, you tap the 786, you form a beautiful 1, 2, and off to the races you go. Now I can apply this to Rune to get more or less an idea of what could potentially play out here. Okay, so yeah, I know it's a mess, right? Let me clean this up. So first things first is, let me take this fib out the way. We have not tapped, okay? Although we have tapped the 1.618 that I have over here. Here is the 786, right? There's the 0.786. We have not tapped the 0.786 just as yet. But look at where the structure is and where the low is supposed to be made, okay? You want at least the low to be made after the 382. And the 382 is on 25 Jan. So if Rune consolidates here, maybe it goes back up. It rejects again. It comes back down. It taps the 786. It finds the low in the zone. This is your zone, right? It finds the low in the zone. But this is why I also started accumulating, because I just don't want to miss out on the move, because it is not guaranteed that the low has to be in after the 382. It just is an increased probability that it's better to make the low inside of the zone over here. So I'm starting to nibble, and this is why I bought a small little position. And I will keep on nibbling and nibbling and nibbling and expecting the momentum here back to the upside. So legends, you've asked for the buy zone. Here is the buy zone. Based on the bullish case scenario and what I have bought today, I've opened up a small 2x low leverage position on Rune on Bluffin. Okay, links down in the description. Right, so that is the bullish case scenario. And from a target, from a profit taking perspective, I am expecting a $19, right? Let's do a box. Target zone. I know it's quite a big box over here, but this is my I have to stress this. This is my conservative target on Rune. If this scenario successfully plays out, I can guarantee you guys that this is a conservative target zone for me. I'm looking at a $19 to $23 Rune from where we are right now. Okay, so that is still a really, really nice, okay, up to the upper level 5x. Okay, you're looking at a 5x. Oh my God, 5x. Yes, you worked it out before I even did. Right. So, I mean, people are always looking for the 100x. They want the 200x. They want the 1000x coins. As a trader, I am stupidly happy with a 3x, with a 5x. Give me a 2 and a 3 and a 5x and I'm happy. Right? I mean, that is absolute insane gains. You don't get that from the S&P 500, from gold, from the NASDAQ. You don't get these moves from those. I mean, the altcoins provide these opportunities to us. So, I mean, on a 2x leverage position, okay, it's then a 10x position, potentially here to the upside. And now comes the bad news. I have to share with you the bearish case scenario as well. Okay, so let's take the scribble here out the way and switch off the bullish case scenario. Take this out, clean up the chart. And now what I want to discuss is the bearish case scenario, because any good trader that calls himself worth his trading salt needs to have both a bullish and a bearish case scenario. And here is your bearish case scenario. Okay, so what I have done over here is I've basically looked at the corrective structure. I looked at the structure from this point over here. And what I can count successfully to the downside, okay, is impulses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And guess what? The levels do balance. Unfortunately, I was really hoping, because I see most of the altcoins that are showing similar structures, this fourth wave tapped an invalidation, which means it can't be a 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth wave is invalidated. But Rune didn't. Rune actually tapped the 50% FIP level, which is a maximum fourth wave target. So I can count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? So what happens after you have an impulse to the downside? Can anyone tell me what happens when you have an impulse to the downside? Okay, or to the upside? You get an ABC. Corrective structure, and you continue impulses back to the downside. So I just have to point out, and I'm going to show you guys, the problems that I see with one of the structures over here. So what you would then expect, okay, is a B wave. This is now forming a B wave here to the downside. This little puppy over here, this B wave, this box that I have over here, are all the targets we have for a B wave. And guess what? The B wave can even take the low over here. And I can tell you guys now, if Rune takes this low, okay, if it successfully takes this low, it does invalidate the bullish case scenario. But there is still money to be made, because a B wave can be a flat that takes the low. It can be an A, B flat, C flat, takes the high, it takes the low. B takes the low, C takes the high, and it continues impulses back to the downside. Okay? If the B wave takes the low over here, it dips below and it gets acceptance back above, swing failure pattern. You enter, you put your stop loss below the low because this C wave can still be epic to the upside. So the similarities, do you guys see the similarity? From a bullish case perspective, to go and hit that $20 rune, okay? To go and hit the $20 rune is going to be invalidated. But if this B wave goes down here and it claims the low, okay, there's still money on the table, right? I'm not going to get depressed or anything. I'm going to get stopped out of my swing trade for sure. I'm going to get stopped out of my swing trade. But if I see this price action that dips below and it gets acceptance back above, I'm back in, boy. I've got my stop loss below the low. And guess what? I know where to take profits. So I have my why am I entering the trade? I have it. I have where is my risk management, and I have where am I going to take profits. And this C wave does have the one, let me just click that, has a target of the 1-to-1 extension, $8.1, 1.236, the most common C wave targets, but it also has an extended C wave of the 1.618, which basically claims the high. Okay, so this could still, okay, even if in the bearish case scenario, this could still be an epic trade of 3x to the upside, even if the bullish case scenario is invalidated. All it means is that I'm going to be stopped out of my swing trade, and I'm going to wait for this price action to play out, because as long as it's dumping and trading below this level, I am not interested. I'm only interested in Rune once it gets back above this level. But this is the bearish case scenario, okay, where you basically at a maximum forming a C wave here to the upside, okay, C wave to the upside, and you continue impulses back to the downside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You take the low and you go ABC, 1, 2, 3. You guys get the picture. It starts crashing to the downside. It goes, makes an all new bear market lows. The problem, okay, the problem with the scenario, let me put some hopium out there. The problem and the reason I have entered a long swing position is, although the structure here to the downside counts beautifully from a Fibonacci perspective, I do not like this, and I do not like this. Okay. For impulses, if you have a 5-wave structure to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the most amount of volume in an impulse is usually almost always in your 3rd wave. If it's a corrective structure, the highest amount of volume is in the top wave, like what happened on Bitcoin. Most amount of volume was in that little top over there, where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which told me, okay, and this is what I discussed yesterday as well, that you're most likely going to come and claim the low. And now we've tapped the 0.88, increasing the probabilities to go and claim the low. And you can see that when you end an impulse on high volume, it usually says that you're going to claim the low, and it is not a valid impulse to create a higher low and continuation back to the upside. You wanted the most amount of volume in this structure. So if there had to be green candles like this inside of this structure, I can almost guarantee you, okay, that we would have made a higher low in this zone and continued without tapping the 0.88. And this is the problem that I see on Rune. So from a bearish perspective, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this little 5th candle over here inside of the 3-wave structure, the 5th candle has the highest amount of volume, which tells me that it is corrective. It's a corrective structure to the downside. It's not an impulsive structure to the downside. Then you go back up for 4 and you go and complete the final 5th wave on the highest amount of volume, which increases the probabilities that you are going to take the high and not have an ABC and impulses back to the downside. So these are the little tips and tricks that I look for when I count structures back to the up or to the downside. So for now, based on where the price of Rune is, the bullish case scenario, the bearish case scenario, I would say the bullish case scenario carries higher probabilities until invalidated. And it has not been invalidated yet. Okay, cool. So, hope you guys enjoyed the technical analysis over here. I spent quite some time putting this together, so I wanted to spend some time just discussing it because, legends, right, let's do this quick. Flux, USDT, okay, let me run through some of them. Has a similar structure. Okay, Flux has a similar structure to Rune. Okay, do you guys see the expanding there at the bottom? Right, I didn't go and do all the Elliott wave counts and everything like that, but I can see the similar structure. You need to take a fib from the low to the high. 786. Does the timing make sense? I see a 1, 2, 3 here to the upside. I see the structure here as corrective and not impulsive. Okay, so Flux, number one, I see the same thing. I think it was WLD that someone asked me to analyze yesterday, and I was just like, oh, this looks really sexy. Okay, I didn't add it to my portfolio. I'm quite happy, but also very similar to Rune. You have the expanding triangle over here, expanding. Okay, you're potentially still busy with the correction. You're going to go up, claim the high again. ICP, USDT. Right, these are the tokens that I'm watching at the moment because they have not made their third waves to the upside. If you guys are asking me to analyze XRP and some of the tokens that has already done this, okay, I'm looking for the ones that still needs to do this. I still want to get the money that XRP has provided some of the people. I have an entry at 44 cents on XRP. I don't care about XRP at the moment. I've already made cash. I actually took profits from XRP and I bought some of it into the altcoins that has not done this. Okay. Which one is this? ICP, similar structure. But I mean, there's many examples, legends. I can't remember all of the examples, but there are many of them that share similar structures to what I've just gone through on Rune. Okay, cool. Whew. Right, let me take a sip of water, go through some comments over here, and perhaps I can take a little bit of altcoin requests. Thanks. Hey, Elizabeth, thanks for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Thanks for your education. IOTA, LT potential. Okay, let's go. And for the legend, so I've got ADA, okay, and I'll use the ICP tab to go and open up IOTA for the legend. IOTA. USDT. Let's go and check it out. Let's go and check it out. For the legends, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. Okay, first let's go and check out ADA. And ADA is one of those that's already gone up to make the third wave. Okay, and this is why I'm looking at specific tokens, because I still want to make. I'm waiting for that. Okay, the tokens that are like Rune, ICP, Flux, the ones that I've just discussed, WLD, they are here. So there's still potential to do that, right? So ADA has already done the third wave. It's now busy with the fourth wave, and it could potentially go and range a little bit more here, go back up for the fifth wave, and it could be done. It could come back for an ABC, maybe then make a higher low, and then continue momentum back to the upside. But there's not much more money for me to be made on ADA, and I'm not saying that it can't do crazy things and just shoot up from here. I'm not saying that, right? But for me, it is much better to look for tokens that have good fundamentals, that have good history, and has been through a previous bear and a bull market, to look for entries in this zone so that I can benefit from this. Okay, XRP is here. XRP is already here. Okay, from the lows, and people are asking me, should they buy XRP? And it's just not my trading strategy. I don't buy coins that have pumped that much already. Okay, so from an ADA perspective, what I'm expecting over here is that I can see a 1, 2, 3, maybe it's building the fourth wave over here, and I still expect another fifth wave to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, but I would like the fourth wave to to be a little bit longer in time to mimic how long this second wave took. If 𝗖𝗍𝘊 continues to pump here to the upside, then it means it's still busy with the third wave, and I will just move the third wave up. Okay, but for now, it rejected beautifully by the 1.618, which is a third wave target, by the way. Okay, the 1.618 is a third wave target. If it keeps on consolidating and chopping here, and it shoots back up here to around about the 2 extension, $1.4, it could be that the structure is finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It chops, it builds that 𝗞𝗔-Simpson. Fifth waves loves to build 𝗞𝗔-Simpsons. It builds that 𝗞𝗔-Simpson and you go down. Okay, so this could be a bull flag. That's going to be a 𝗞𝗔-Simpson, and it's most probably going to tank down. So, and I'm not saying that it can't continue. Okay, I'm not saying that. I want to see a larger correction, and then when you get one more high, you almost guaranteed that the fifth wave is in, and you're going to have a larger corrective structure to the downside. If 𝗖𝗍𝘊 decides just to find magic all of a sudden, and it starts shooting up here, okay, to the upside, then third wave goes to the new top, because I will only count this as a fourth wave if it's at least similar in time to the second wave. This is very short to be a fourth wave. Very, very, very short. So if it continues, it means the third wave is not done. If it still chops sideways, okay, and it starts gaining the length of this correction, okay, the correction actually ended there. If it starts gaining the length of this correction, then you almost guaranteed, okay, you play the breakout, it claims the fifth wave target, and you have a larger ABC. So for me, it's not worth getting into tokens like 𝗖𝗍𝘊 at the moment. I do have a spot entry here at the bottom. And many live streams ago, I shared with everyone why I'm buying here at the bottom when we started changing market structure. But I mean, it's old news now. It doesn't even help me to take you guys through it. But we had a change in market structure. We formed higher highs, higher lows. That's where I bought. I put out the tweet. I posted it on my YouTube channel as a post with a picture to say, hey, this looks interesting. If you want to buy, it looks like a good zone. This is where I bought 𝗖𝗍𝘊. Okay. Right, so for Elizabeth, let's go through IOTA. Sounds like Toyota. Okay, right, let's see what is cooking over here on IOTA. Let's first go to the weekly, just see where we are. Just curious, do I have coin market cap over here? Just IOTA. I just want to see IOTA, what it is, what does it look like, how big is it? Is it this first one? It looks like it's the first one. I want to see the market cap. 1.2 billion market cap. Total supply 3.5 billion. Max supply. Ooh, it doesn't have a max supply, so it's infinite. I don't like particularly infinite tokens, but I mean, they can have good runs during the bull market. They have a white paper. Let's go check out the website just quickly. I want to see, well, okay, it looks cool. Yeah, IOTA, is it in the AI space? IOTA provides technology for anyone, anything to securely navigate digital world. Right, okay, so I mean, it's going to take too long for me to go and do fundamental research on this project, go through LinkedIn, go through their Twitter pages, whatever the case might be. So I just wanted to quickly, see where can I trade it on Binance. So it's basically available on most of the exchanges, KuCoin, MEXC, Binance, BingX. It's available. So I mean, it looks like a solid project over here. 1.2 billion market cap is quite a larger cap coin, I suppose. Right, so now let's go back here onto the daily time frame and let's see where we are. Nice pump, nice third wave here to the upside. Okay, so the only thing that I don't like about IOTA, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, okay, about IOTA over here, is that I can only count the structure from here. Because you took the lows, you took these lows, it still made a fresh low over here, and it made another fresh low over here. Okay, so I can only look at the structure from here. So this structure is still very young and very fresh. I don't have enough data to do proper technical analysis just looking at the structure from here, because there's your lows. Okay, I can only look at the structure from the lows. I can't count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here to the upside, because it's been invalidated. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so it's potentially what it looks like, forming a fresh 1, 2 here to the upside. So what you would like to do over here is, if it's forming, this could be a big 1, 2, and it's forming a 3, 4, 5, and then it comes back down for a correction. I mean, who knows? I don't know how the structure is going to play out. The data is too fresh. But what you can do based on the information that you have right now is draw a fib, and you can see, okay, it's finding support here by the 0.618. It is starting. It had a downtrend. Okay, it had a downtrend over here. Lower highs, lower low, lower low, higher low, high, higher high. So this needs to hold. If IOTA has a chance of turning around, it needs to form a higher low over here, because it already formed a higher high. So now what you want to see is change in market structure. So it needs to go up and make another higher high. Gives you another clue that market structure is now turning around, and it can start getting explosive back to the upside. So for me, that needs to be your invalidation at 27 cents. Because if it's going to take this low, okay, then it's not changing market structure. You could still chop here, maybe go to the downside. It's not changing market structure. So for me, an invalidation would be 27 cents. If you have any hope of IOTA turning around and going to claim the high once again. If you're holding it from a fundamental perspective, by all means, okay, you have your spot bags loaded, you just ride out the wave, okay, but technically there's not much else I can see over here, okay, unfortunately. I wish I could do more, but it's just unfortunate that IOTA made a low. It's unfortunate. If it didn't make this low, I could have had a better opinion, because I could have taken the entire structure into consideration to determine what's happening over here. Right, and then obviously what you can do from a simple support and resistance perspective, what you could also do is you take your fib. I mean, it's so weaky here to the upside. I would rather just take this pivot over here from the high to the lowest point over there, and then you know when you start hitting these levels, if you find upwards momentum, okay, you just start taking profits. You start taking profits by these Fibonacci levels. I mean, this is such a strong consolidation area, very strong consolidation area. I mean, this is most likely where I will even close the position at $1.3 if it has the strength to hit this level, because this is massive resistance. Okay, maybe leave a moon bag open for higher levels, but I'm not sure. I don't know the fundamentals. I'm not sure whether IOTA has the strength to go and claim the high. Okay, Elizabeth, I hope you found some value in terms of what I've shared over here. It's just very unfortunate that IOTA has made a fresh low over here. Yeah, it's not nice, not great. Okay, right, legends, thanks. Already have a spot bag on a deal. Pleasure, Elizabeth. If you have a spot bag, you just hold on, right? You just hold on, and perhaps you follow the model. Please, no financial advice. I told you what my trading plan is. Perhaps you just hold on to the token round about August, September, you cash out, okay? Or you wait for your FIB levels to be hit, but obviously no financial advice. Dewald, crow, Mr. Godfather, I see you crowing everywhere. Okay, let's go and have a look at crow. And then lastly, we will see. Maybe we can have a look at Ethereum as well. Okay, crow. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know if it's this one, but isn't crow that bearish looking token that looks like it's going nowhere? Or let's go and see before I make conclusions over here. No, crow actually looks great. Is it Kronos? Is this the one you're looking for? Kronos? Okay. I actually did technical analysis on this so long ago, but crow actually looks great. Okay, I must have been thinking about another token. Oh, it actually looks phenomenal. What I like about Mr. Crow over here, okay, not to be crowish, but look at this and look at this. This is beautiful. So even during this 21 bull cycle that we had here to the upside, you have still made a higher low where some of the altcoins actually took these lows. Okay, so this is an insanely bullish structure where you have found a higher low. But nonetheless, now this structure is also absolutely gorgeous. I love this structure. Okay, because you have not taken the lows. I mean, I did technical analysis on this token most probably eons ago because I saw the FIP that I just deleted. They still had my old settings on it. But this support box that I drew over here, look how beautifully it got respected. Okay, it just came down, held. There were some trend lines. You play the breakout and you smack here back to the upside. You also have a beautiful low and a beautiful higher low, which tells me that this could potentially be a without going in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 corrective structure, and now you have done the third wave here to the upside in the highest amount of volume. So again, like ADA, it's chopping. Now the question is it going, okay, to chop and chop and chop and do a correction similar in size to this? Then you would expect one more high, okay, and it can be quite explosive. But then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 done. Okay. If it finds the strength, I think it's kind of in the same boat as ADA at the moment. Okay. If it finds the strength right here to start moving up aggressively, it just whoop moves up here. It doesn't give you a correction similar in time to this. Okay. Because there's your low. Doesn't give you a correction similar in time to this, and it starts moving up here, then it's still part of the third wave. Unfortunately, third waves don't have specific targets in terms of where they can end. All we know, and all Elliott wave theory teaches you and tells you, is that you can measure where the common third wave target is, which is the 1.618. And this is exactly, okay, the 1.618 is exactly where ADA got rejected. Okay, that's his third wave target. It doesn't have to hit the third wave, but it's a common third wave target. If I measure this impulse here, okay, it's only hit the 1-to-1 extension, which tells me that maybe it needs to still find steam here to the upside. The only thing we know about third waves is that you don't short them. You do not short a third wave. You hold on to your beer and hope for the best, okay? Because they can get punchy. They can get to the 2.618, 3.618, 4.618. They can just continue. And as long as you have short consolidations, okay, they can just continue. And guess what? Pepe is past this level already. Pepe has surpassed the 5.618 in its third wave. XRP, I can't remember. I think XRP hit the 3.618 or the 4.618. XRP is in this zone somewhere. Okay, third waves can get very punchy to the upside. But as soon as you see a consolidation similar in length, if not longer than this consolidation over here, so if it maybe gets one more push to the upside, it consolidates for long. Okay, you can go and take a time flip, measure that. You're most likely going to get one more high, and then the structure starts correcting. So that is what I see on Crow. Right. Curious to see what is Ethereum doing. Let's go check at Ethereum. Yeah, I mean, Ethereum needs to start finding some strength. I mean, if this structure is still going to build or play out on ETH, it needs to start. ETH needs to start picking up some steam. So what I would not want to see from ETH over here. Okay, let's just go here onto the 8-hour time frame. This is potentially, okay, let me just look at the structure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is potentially a 1, 2, 3. I'm waiting for 4 and 5 to complete the first wave. Then what I want to see is a 3-wave corrective structure. Hopefully it finds support above the high. So maybe this 5th wave is going to get punchy here to the upside. It makes a 3-wave corrective structure where you now have 1, 2, and then it's all systems go. all systems go for ETH here to the upside to go and complete this bullish third wave that could potentially go and hit between $8,000 and $10,000. Right, so in this structure, let me just take the scribble out. Okay, let's go back here onto the 4-hour time frame. I do not want this structure to lose the low. And ideally, okay, so what you want to do is you want to take your fib from the low to the high, okay? And the 618 area, if we do come down here, if ETH does come down here, it's perfectly fine, but it would be nice, it would really be nice for ETH to make a higher low over here. Okay, because this is potentially building a bullish structure here to the upside. This is part of the correction. It doesn't take the low and then it goes and completes that wave one there to the upside. If it's going to claim this low, then it's still part of the corrective structure. Okay, so maybe it's going to chop, correct. It would be nice for ETH to come and tap the 0.618. I do like this consolidation. Grabs the liquidity. Okay, I can just imagine where people's stop losses are. It's most probably below this consolidation area. If ETH comes down here and it gets acceptance back above here by the 0.618, this is potentially a great load up zone. Great load up zone. But it would be nice for ETH to find higher low over here and continue momentum here to the upside to go and complete a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a one wave structure. Come back down for a 3-wave structure and then rock and roll back to the upside. So I do like that the downwards momentum over here, the volume is slowing down. Okay, you can see that selling pressure is getting exhausted. It's a good sign. I like that. Right, so that is basically the technical analysis on ETH. And remember, ETH, CRO, and the altcoins that I've just shown you over here can be traded on Weeks and Bluffin. Links down in the description. 20k sign up bonus, up to 20k sign up bonus, low trading fees on Weeks. All you need is an email and a password. Bluffin, the more you trade, more money gets airdropped into your account. Also, all you need is an email and a password. So if you're in a country or stay in a place where leverage is frowned upon, perhaps these are your options. Okay. Right, legends, I have unfortunately run out of time. I hope you guys have enjoyed the technical analysis over here. And I have spent quite some time preparing these technical analysis and Rune and the scenarios with everyone. And I hope you have found some value. Please smash up the like to show your support. I appreciate every single one of you. And until the next one, cheers for now.